Conditions on the lay today, doubly entertaining. Or double A energetic. Yes, the scriptwriters have been out. I'm not on my own today, but I also have a fellow investigator with me, Mr. Mayrees. It's all hands on deck, all hand on deck in terms of the start of this walk, but I'll be joined by Mr. Mayrees today, who's also wanting to understand whether these energy lines are real or not, and also it'll be a test for his dowsing with one hand, obviously. Well, we'll see how we get on. We'll see how we get on. Having walked 42.6 miles on my own, it's about time that I had some company. I'm very grateful for you joining me today.
I'm glad to be here.
Good. Okay, well, I've brought you to the prison that is the festival site. This is where we left off on King's Hill, and as you can see, preparations are well underway for the festival. So let's get this one moving. We're going to go to West Bradley Church, which sits on the St Mary line. We're going to visit West Pennard Barn. Don't know what's there, but that's on the St Mary line. And then we're going to end up with a special finish at the Glastonbury Alehouse, not on any line other than the fact that we're going to have a drink.
The beer line.
A beer line. Lovely. Let's get walking. It's 6.83 miles and it should take... So there you go. Yeah, it's a bit of a long one. Just thought I'd drop that on you right there. Preparations afoot. Stop at the edge of the festival. We're leaving the festival site now. You can see, you probably can't see on this camera actually, so I won't bother. But what you do find is all the periphery fields and that the farmers have, all setting up with the luxury side of Glastonbury. Now's a good time as any to talk about synchronicities. I also like to talk about what dreams I've had that might influence these synchronicities. First dream did actually feel like an out-of-body experience. It was travelling through space at high speed, watching all the stars go past. I reached the end and then it all went black. Woke up in enough shit myself. A second dream, in a building with a glass roof when a tornado hit, sucking all the glass off and I was trapped in the top. The third one, take this as you please, providing business advice to David Icke on running a country house hotel. No idea where that came from. But David Icke, probably an advocate of the energy lines. Have you got any dreams you could speak of?
I can't speak about my dreams.
Okay, well we've got that admin out the way. Shall we proceed? What did you eat there, by the way?
Cheese and ham.
Just cheese and ham?
Yeah. Dennis?
Yes?
What I want to know is,
Yeah.
Are we actually on the energy line now?
Oh, that's a pretty good question. I think it does actually run across this hill.
I'm quite excited to actually get on the actual energy line.
Yeah. If you think about it, it is still special, the fact that we are at least probably in between the energy lines. So, you know, even though we're in very close proximity to the energy line, so chances are you should be feeling a little... Yes, energised, exactly. That's exactly the word I was looking for. So we are inside the energy line at the moment. It's running on the back of the hill and then it starts to curve round. So we'll then we'll meet up with it in West Bradley.
Right, okay. Let me know when we're actually on it and you can really pinpoint that we're on it, because
okay,
that's what I'm after. So when you do or you plan these walks, you sort of make account of the public footpaths and try to stick to them. Is that your your
Yes.
plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really take any shortcuts. I think last year I did the trig point walks. It meant a lot of time going across farmers' fields and not sticking to the footpath.
Right.
Whereas this year it's a lot easier. You can just plot your footpath. The only problem is, like on this one now, we've just walked past a sign saying it's closed.
Well,
Oh well, it's not closed. It's an unsafe bridge. You know, bit of a jeopardy for you
yeah,
when
good.
you walk.
Like
I mean,
Jeopardy.
you don't really need it
No.
with your hand.
Oh, another thing actually. Do you find that these ley lines are on public footpaths?
Yeah, they crisscross. Yeah, you can.
Cross, but do you ever get a ley line that actually follows, or a footpath that follows a ley line?
I think I haven't noticed it, but I suppose you can find, you know, places where the ley line will run down a straight section. In fact, near where we live, there is a road, and it goes on for about 200 yards
On the
on the road. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So we should go and check that out. It's a fast road, but
No, the A39, is it? You get to come on these walks, and you end up walking in places where you just would never walk.
No.
That's what I think is fascinating about your trips you do.
I mean, I come across this, like, you know, little hot tubs.
I mean, why would you? There'd be no reason to come here. But now we've found this absolutely beautiful little spot.
Yeah. I mean, there's no noise there either. Oh,
Beautiful.
there's a little trickle of water. Do you need a wee? Bollocks.
Well,
What's it unsafe from?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it goes anywhere.
No. I mean, hopefully this might be an alternative path,
Let's hope so.
but the bridge itself,
I mean, I would walk across that, but it doesn't
Yeah.
look like it actually goes anywhere.
it's just it's a brickwork. That's been out for bloody years. We're going to take this alternative route that isn't on the map. We might be at a dead end. Oh, no.
Don't understand what the issue was about.
There's nothing to worry about. Yeah. Well, they've left the diversion sign up since 1982, so it's actually okay. You can walk this way. Here he goes, Mr. Mayray's Pointless Sty #1. Thank you very much.
Years ago, probably, I want to say more than 30 years ago, West Bradley, I seem to remember picking apples in an orchard when I was a lad.
Yeah.
And I think they paid us. I think we
You got paid?
Well, me and a mate did it all day long. It's all day long, and it was back-breaking work. And at the end of the day, the farmer weighed it up and said, "Here's £4 each, lads." So we didn't go back the next day.
No, I don't blame you. We're coming into West Bradley. Locals speak of a silent hour before dawn, where the wind seems to vanish. So that's the local folklore of the area. And that is our first stop on this destination today. And this is where the first examination of the St Mary line, Dowsing, and how you feel
Excellent.
is going to take place. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this bit.
good. Let's get to the church. Don't think there's anything else in West Burberry, apart from the farmer who's employing kids to pick apples for nothing. 13th century church. And interestingly enough, St Mary line runs through this end.
Oh. It almost looks like that's been extended on this end.
It's on the wonk.
Yeah.
Have a look what's going on in your local church. Aha. It's a very uniform church. The line would probably run under here. We'll go outside and we'll go and investigate outside first.
Now, so did the lines quite often run through the bell tower? That's interesting.
Could be. Yeah, never thought of that. Let's have a look at some facts about the church. This is a 13th century church.
It slightly looks a bit Norman, the way that you've got the arches around the arches around the front door.
This was likely replacing an old Christian site. Yew trees apparently in here.
There's always a yew tree.
Can you see a yew tree? Could I? That's a bit strange, but anyway. Because ancient yews are believed to be over 500 years old. Yews often mark sacred places, even back to Druid times.
Yeah.
What we're going to do now is I'm going to hand over the rods this time, and you can douse.
I've done it once before, years ago on Glastonbury tour, and it was quite mind-blowing how it worked.
Really?
I've never done it since, and I'm not sure what I believe, whether I believe it or I don't believe it. I think I do.
Well, let's get the rods out and let's find out.
Okay.
What I tend to do is walk where I know the line isn't and get the rods and then just see what happens when I walk over the line, if you like. So it seems to be going in that angle there. So while Mr. Reyes is getting ready, the ley lines appear to run beneath the nave of a church, verified by several Somerset dowsers. The church path aligned east to west, a common energy alignment in sacred geometry. So you were right. So have you got... right, slight problem.
No?
No, I don't think that's going to work.
Oh.
I think this one, I think you might just have to do it with one hand.
Oh, okay.
Let's forget that hand. All right, you've got to hold it loosely.
Yeah.
So you can feel like it's moving, so it's not trapped on anything and it's got free moving.
I can do it with that.
Oh, okay. So what you need to do now is just sort of like clear your mind a bit, not look at the rods, and then just think, show me where the line flows, and just see what the rods do.
Give it a go.
That's where...
That's exactly the same place.
Yep.
Did I force that to happen?
Don't know, we'll have to try it the other way. In your mind, show me where the energy line is flowing. Can't help looking at the rods, but yep, there you go again.
Yeah, it definitely moved.
Oh,
I've got to do it again.
good bit of resonant ground in there. It's just slightly distracted by Mr. Mayrais's lunch, which was boiled eggs. Yeah, got the distinct smell of shit while I sat there then.
How you find the lines?
Well, I use the digital version that has been plotted by someone and get an idea and then think, okay, well, it goes through the church, and then not knowing exactly where it is, douse to see if I can find it in and around the church. And then once I've found it, I'll then refer to the digital map, maybe at the time or later on, and just check if I was right and I actually found it.
So do you sometimes make a mental note of where it is, or?
Yeah, a mental note of it. Like for instance, this one, we know it roughly goes through the clock tower. You can tell on the map there, can't you?
What, this blue line?
Yes.
What,
the blue line.
The blue line. Well, this blue line runs through the whole of the village.
Yeah. Yeah. So to give you a close up, you can see the line. It goes right the way through the tower end of the church.
Okay, so the church is always run east to south?
East to west.
East to west, yeah.
Well, I don't know, but they do tend to work east.
Yeah,
to
no,
west.
there's got to be something in there. I'm sure I've heard that before, because definitely looking at the compass bearing is this. It definitely is east to west, definitely.
Using the old manual skills there
Yeah,
to work that out.
right, is going that way,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I mean, it doesn't quite shows it like that, but from only this bit, that's the direction that the line is going.
Okay, so we've an experiment. What's the conclusion of what the dowsing experience that you've had?
Well, the dowsing definitely seemed to work. Although I'm still not sure if I was making it work.
Well, that is part of the whole process, is that in some way the dowsing rods are connected to you, who are connected to the earth, and it is actually working through you. But how it works, that's the unknown piece, and that's why it becomes more of a pseudoscience rather than a scientific proof that something's working. But there's a lot that goes on in physics where we can see a correlation, but we don't know what the causation is. So I'm just putting it in that category. There's definitely something to it. The church is sited near a spring, once said to have healing properties. We'll leave the lovely church at West Bradley. Okay. Let's carry on. Down the road. So you enjoying the walk so far?
Oh, I'm loving the walk.
Oh, good. Much better than the last time that we went out on a walk.
Oh my God.
The good thing about this, I said it was 1 hour 22, but one step forward, one step back.
I've got prickles in my knees, I've fallen over and ruined my new trousers, mud everywhere, I've got spikes up my bum. Forgotten about that.
Oh, hello. Walking the footpath. Some footpaths look like they go right through someone's garden.
No, I never like that.
A footpath's a footpath.
I know.
That's the barn. So it's an artefact on our St Mary line, and hopefully we can get a quick look in. Being that I'm a National Trust member, I think that should be acceptable.
Looks like a medieval barn, this one.
Yeah, I'll get some information on it. Like I say, I couldn't find anything to print off. I do know that the National Trust have looked after it for some reason, so perhaps there is some historical significance to this. But it just so happens we think a ley line runs through it in some way, shape or form, or in this area anyway, somewhere. Oh, there you go. Oh, he may have found the edge of the line. Ah, excellent. Right, okay, we're going to experiment. So what I want you to do now is go back to that point and then just think to yourself, okay, that might be the edge there, that might be the other edge of it, so that's the width of the line. So get it to show you where the centre of the line is in this area. And you want the rods to move inwards when you're over that centre, so that they'll turn in. Show me the centre.
No way. Did I make that happen? I don't know.
Oh, are you not now convinced?
It's almost in line with that pillar.
Yeah.
The centre. If it is.
Well, you've just proved it.
No!
Doesn't like it, does he? What's going to convince you further?
I do feel though that the energy here feels very different from the energy in the churchyard, actually. I can feel a difference.
Nice here, isn't it?
I'm almost getting an anxious feeling, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well then you need to do some resonant grounding. Have a sit down there.
Or do I?
Yes. We haven't managed to find any information regarding the barn. However, one point of note was there was a feeling from a resonant grounding point of view for you.
There was, yeah. It was almost like an anxious feeling, butterflies type feeling, and it felt like it was energy, but it didn't necessarily feel nice.
Was it those eggs?
It could have been the eggs.
Oh, great. Don't walk downwind. So here's the information. West Pennard Court Barn, also known as Court Barn West Bradley. A late 14th, 15th century tithe barn. Tithe barn, which was built for Glastonbury Abbey. Grade 1 listed building. The barn was restored by the Society for the Protection of Ancient Buildings in the 1930s, following the collapse of the roof, and then given to the National Trust. At 50 feet long, 20 feet wide, it is crook and braced timber frame roof, supported by 2-stage buttresses. Tithes or dues to the Abbey. It was basically just part of the income of the church.
Yeah, they would have been farmers that tended the land, and whatever money they made, it went to the abbey.
Just a weird artefact that sits in the countryside.
It'd be interesting to get some more information though about anything that might have happened there. Or
Yeah. You thinking that there was a hanging or something?
I don't know.
It's an anxiety feeling you've had.
Well, I've got another anxiety feeling now because there's cows in this field and an electric fence.
Oh, watch out, watch yourself.
Now, which is the quickest way out we have to run?
Well, it just matters. One person needs to run faster than the other one.
Well, that's all right then. I may have little legs, but they can go very far.
Well, we'll see, won't we? And the bull's wagging its tail.
Oh, great. Get on. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Oh! Oh, shit.
Oh, dearie. What do we do now?
Like I say, it's the fastest man.
Oh, dear.
Well, if you run, you attract their attention as well. Whoa! See, I just don't. I have this all the time. What are you worrying about? We can run fast. Coming up, this embankment, and this is Pointer's Ball Dyke. Probably built when this whole area was flooded. It's back in the day, Somerset Levels was all underwater, and the dike goes that way along there. Beautiful. And now we're as close as we've ever been to Glastonbury itself. Seen any ones you fancy?
That one there.
Oh yeah, big behind.
Yeah.
Getting to the end of this walk now, with only main road to cross, and we're more or less at our final destination. So we'll have a question and answers session when we get there, and more broadly the energy lines themselves. So there's the tour, and here's the brewing company. Thank you very much.
Charles.
See, I'm very zen.
Yeah.
Whereas you're... Why are you pouring it like that? Oh, I'm going to have to cut that. Wait, let me do it.
I'm self-sufficient.
Anyway, that's that. Voodoo. That's what he looks like at the end of this walk. So here we are. The final destination of the day. What a way to end it. Chin chin. First question is, are you convinced about Dowsing? How about if I get you another beer?
Oh, I would be convinced then, I think.
Especially with the Dowsing, how do you feel? Do you think there is something in it, these energy lines?
I think there is, and it definitely worked more than once. You know, several times. But I'm still not convinced that I didn't make it happen.
Well, that, as I explained, is the reason why it's seen as a pseudoscience, because there is this effect that you can be moving it maybe, but the mere fact that, you know, you're walking without really thinking about it, but just then it moves, it just gives you that sort of thing. Well, that's moved on its own, and that is on an energy line.
It did feel like it, I have to say. It did.
Highlights of the day?
Oh, do you know what? Just getting out there and walking in places that you don't really normally walk. I mean, we walk on Dartmoor and places like that, and in the mountains, and you know, to get out and walk in these sort of, you know, beautiful areas in where we live as well, places that we'd never walk normally, and it's just beautiful. It's amazing what's out there. Yeah, gorgeous. So just the highlight is just getting out and doing the walk, really.
It is. Viewers' questions now. What does it mean when a building aligns perfectly with energy paths? Was it by accident, instinct, or an ancient science?
No, I would think it's an ancient science. I really would believe that.
Yeah. They do say that these energy lines follow paths of where people used to walk, you know, between towns and villages in ancient past. And those lines were established that way. But they're pinned down by various artifacts or places like churches, Glastonbury Tor behind us and so on, and that's where they sort of are pinned down. And between that they work like a sine wave, how electricity would. So the next question, can the fermentation process they're made on, could Glastonbury Ale be the modern form of liquid resonance? What do you think? I mean, it tastes nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, great.
Do hilltops or known energy lines hold greater spiritual importance, or is it just the view?
Oh, now that is a toughie. That really is, because it's all saying that, we walked on Dartmoor recently and we went to the Stone Rows.
Yes.
Now, there was no view at them, and then 3 stone roads converged into one area, and we annoyingly didn't take the rods, did we?
We didn't, but we can go back and investigate that more further.
But there wasn't a view there at all, so maybe it's not the view.
Yeah, maybe it isn't.
Okay, so you've been walking on these energy lines for 5 months. Has it changed you? Do you feel more energised?
I do, but like you said today, just getting out and being out in the countryside has that effect anyway. So it's hard to sort of attribute it to an energy line per se. But there's been a couple of occasions where I've been sat at a church or at one of the artifacts or where the ley line goes, and it has felt distinctly different.
Well, that happened to me today at the barn.
Yeah,
I definitely had a weird feeling there,
yeah.
without a doubt. So, who knows?
Is there any other questions now, or are we just thinking about that next beer?
My question is, are you getting the beers in?
Yes.
That's my question.
All right. That's probably a good place to end it.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Dennis.
And thank you very much for coming, Mr. May Reyes, Extreme Explorer, and also of the map reading skills. Turn it the other way around with the map bits on.